Welcome to the Rove Report. I'm your host, British Matt. The world is our show, and we bring you the latest and greatest updates in travel news across the country and across the Atlantic. Each week, we will try and bring you the most relevant topics on restrictions and recommendations so that you can plan better, travel better, and live better. We are all living through unprecedented times right now, and we felt it important to make sure you have a place to come where you can find out positive news on updates and changes that benefit your life. Since there is no noteworthy news on state travel this week, we are going to be focusing on the international front. In Belize, who just opened to travelers and have established a safe corridor for travelers, which now includes a new gold standard travel program to make things simpler and safer for all those considering a visit. You will want to book travel to Belize using approved gold standard accommodations, download their health app and complete the required information within 72 hours of your flight. You will also need to take a COVID-19 PCR test within 72 hours of departure, and this will be verified at the airport once you pass through health screening and testing. On arrival at your gold standard hotel within the tourism safe corridor, the health app will check in daily using your unique ID. Note that if you experience any symptoms during your visit, you'll need to quarantine prior to departure upon a health clearance. But it's a conscious effort by Belize, who have put all the protocols in place to ensure your safety and enjoyment while visiting. Grenada just opened their borders to travelers, and they have categorized travelers into 3 categories, either low, medium, or high risk. All visitors are required to stay in accommodations certified under their tourism authority's Pure Safe Travels program. All accommodations on the Safe Travels program list have been inspected to ensure that they have what is required to deliver the cleanest and most authentic service Grenada has to offer. US visitors will be required to provide a proof of a negative test result within 7 days of booking travel and need to book a minimum 4-day stay for observation and quarantine. On day 4, if you wish to leave the hotel for the duration of your visit, you'll have the option to get a second test to be allowed into the rest of the community. There is a contact tracing app that you'll need to download prior to travel, where you will register, as well as a pre-travel form that will need to be filled out, which is where you can also upload the test result documentation as well as proof of accommodation. Travelers can expect non-stop departures from Miami and United Airlines service from Houston on reopening of the borders. Delta Airlines are expected mid-November to start offering flights from Atlanta. Nicaragua, interestingly, has a lot of similarities with Mexico in the sense that they never really completely shut down to travelers, although with airports closing and flights disappearing, access did become extremely difficult. In what seems to be a standard, they'll be requiring a negative COVID-19 PCR test result within 72 hours before arrival, and this extends beyond flights. If a result can be shown, there is no quarantine period for travelers, as long as all the other requirements are fulfilled. In terms of which countries can travel here, unlike other countries who have been placing certain countries on high-risk or low-risk lists, Nicaragua is open to all countries, although certain places require a visa to visit the country. Note that for US travelers, you will not need a visa, just that negative PCR test within 72 hours of arrival. In South Africa, the president announced they are ready to open their doors again to the world and invite travelers to enjoy the mountains, beaches, vibrant cities, and wildlife with safety and confidence. There will be 3 risk categories for all travelers: low, medium, and high risk. A minister recently said that those visiting from a high-risk country for leisure will not be permitted into South Africa, only those from low or medium-risk countries. Unfortunately, all those in the US and the UK are currently considered high risk and therefore will not be able to visit just yet. With that being said though, we will keep you updated when South Africa becomes available to you, as these changes can happen rather quickly. We will list the current list of high-risk countries in the show notes and of course report on this in future episodes. And that's all we have for this episode, but remember to check in each week for the latest updates in restrictions and recommendations. Thank you for your earbuds, and make sure to subscribe so you get notified of the next episode, where we bring you updates to help you plan better, travel better, and live better. It's no question that COVID-19 has changed all of our lives, but what's important is that we have an optimistic outlook on the future in travel and tourism and still live our lives every day to the best of our abilities. We have no doubts that COVID-19 has made travel a lot more complicated, but we can assure you that tourism boards all around the world are doing their very best to ensure your safety and security and also give you a platform to travel once again. As your British host living in North America, operating an informative media company all around the world, be sure to stay healthy and happy, and we'll see you next week.